Greetings and salutations, everyone. Thanks for stopping in to check out my latest review or recommendation. If you are new to my channel, I check out various films and make these quick little videos about them, mainly if I enjoyed them and feel that they are worth checking out. But before I begin, as you no doubt have heard from other YouTubers, please give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Consider subscribing and hitting that little bell icon if you want to see what else I'm going to be coming up with. And also check out that back catalog. And also very important is to share any of these videos in this channel if you enjoyed them. It actually really does help the channel out a lot. So now that that's out of the way, let's get started on this video, which is for the 2006 film Paprika, starring Megumihayashibara, which I watched it in English dub, so I guess that doesn't matter really. But I have, heard some of her music and I was very familiar with her from Evangelion as well, from way back. Anyways, this film is directed by Satoshi Kon, who has directed a few of my favorite animated films, including, among them, of course, are Perfect Blue, Tokyo Godfathers, and Millennium Actress. Now, for the film synopsis, it is as follows. Dr. Atsuko Chiba works as a scientist by day and, under the codename Paprika, is a dream detective at night. Atsuko and her colleagues are working on a device called the DC Mini, which is intended to help psychiatric patients, but in the wrong hands, it could destroy people's minds. When a prototype is stolen, Atsuko/Paprika springs into action to recover it before any damage is done. One thing kind of left out of that synopsis, which is really important though, the DC Mini was developed to allow someone to have their dreams recorded. That's part of the therapy, diving deep into the subconscious via these dreams. The creator had some really wholesome intentions behind this device as well. He wanted to be able to record his dreams, record his friends' dreams, and they could share that information and kind of get a deeper connection with each other. Since once you kind of get that peek into, deeper into somebody's minds, you can really connect with them a lot better. But, I really consider this film to be one of my second chance cinemas in that originally I tried to watch this years back. Tried and failed to get into it at all. At the time I was streaming it on a slower connection, and due to the highly stylistic animation, just this really wild animation they have going on, I got a lot of pixelated sequences. And I think this was likely when I was drinking as well, so my brain was kind of fogging up a bit and I just couldn't grasp what this film is or understand what the heck was going on. And that's to be expected when it's a late night and you're watching it under the influence of alcohol, meant to relax one, yet maybe take away too many of their mental faculties. Speaking of alcohol, I've now crossed the 1,000 day mark with no alcohol, and I'm fast approaching the 3-year mark, and yes, I made a video about it last year, which I will link in the description below. Anyways, back on track. Nothing like a break of almost 15 years to give me a fresh look at a film, because I remembered nothing about this going into it this second time, which was nice because the second chance film felt very fresh and I really enjoyed it this time. Unlike even some of my favorite animated films, a lot of the animated films, I feel like I'm so used to seeing anime in episodic form of no more than maybe 23 minutes per episode. A lot of these films, even some of my favorites, can really feel long. For instance, Princess Mononoke, I absolutely love, but it just drags to get through that story. But this one moved along at a really great pace. And it wasn't really as difficult to follow as I was prepared for. I'm not even wording that right. But basically, I was expecting this to be very difficult to follow and to really have to try hard to pay attention. I was prepared for something much more complex, than, more complex levels and deeper meanings that we've seen in films like Inception or Until the End of the World, both of which also have a very heavy focus on dreams. But it wasn't. And not that this was shallow, on the contrary, this was quite deep with several of those layers going on. And there are aspects of it which even now are not very clear. But the way that the dreams are handled on this device is that, it could be hacking into your dreams very easily in the wrong hands. So we will have characters walking around their usual day-to-day scenery throughout the story. And then next thing you know, they're sinking into the ground, or a big parade's coming through, or something else very strange because we were actually within their dreams and they were being hacked at that time. So it really gives you this sense of what's real, what's not as you're going throughout the story. It could throw you off a little bit here and there, but it does a really good job of reeling you back into the investigation of who stole this machine. How are they going to get it back? How are they going to stop them from doing any harm with it? because ultimately this story is just a psychedelic mystery of sorts. They just need to get control of this DC mini again, find out who stole it, unwrap all their plans, make sure everything goes well, and we get to know more information about our main characters along the way. Now we still have a few questions about it, which I'm sure many of you might after watching it, but I'm trying to avoid any spoilers while simultaneously trying to wrap my head around some of the more foggy details of it. But at its core, it's quite the trip visually, as well as some of the concepts it brings forth about the subconscious and how our noggins work. It really gives you extra insight into the characters since many of them have had their dreams analyzed as well, and they're being hacked along the way. So besides just having dialogue in certain situations to let you know about these characters, you get this much deeper dive into them in these little chunks of times when you think you're following them from point A to B, and it turns out they're being hacked and they're in a dream right now. So yeah, it can kind of mix you up a lot, but it's really good. I wanted to add this one to the Second Chance Cinema recommendations because I really hope you'll give it a shot and enjoy it as much as I did. And not just that, but Satoshi Kon in general. So I mentioned liking some of his other films. I think maybe all of his other films. I haven't kept up with what else he's done. I know he passed away not that long ago. But for instance, Perfect Blue, it's this great psychological thriller about a pop star who's trying to branch out into a solo career while also becoming an actress, and all of this while under the eye of this really creepy stalker. We've also got Millennium Actress, about this older movie star who's recounting events of her life while kind of blurring those lines between what's real that happened to her and what was something that happened within a movie that parallels some things that happened in her life. It's a really great story. But especially for Christmas, Tokyo Godfathers. It's about three homeless people in Tokyo on Christmas Eve trying to find help for an infant that they found in the trash. And we get to know more about these characters along the way, how they became homeless, and if they can ever kind of get their lives back together. They're all worth checking out. And especially, this film Paprika is worth checking out as well. And I sincerely hope that you do. Speaking of checking out, thanks for checking out this video. Thanks for sticking around until the end, especially, and remember what I said at the beginning about all that YouTube stuff, about liking, subscribing, sharing, all that fun stuff. And I will see you in the next one.